think we are getting most of the patient of head and neck cancer is either locally advanced or unresectable tumor or metastatic cases. And most of the patients need some neoadjuvant kind of treatment. And I have experienced that most of the patients, if you give chemotherapy along with some targeted therapy like cetuximab, and nowadays we have options of immunotherapy also in adjuvant setting, and patient had very good response. Another issue for upfront surgery that patient has a problem with the finances also. And they can't manage. Our patients are poor patients. And other option neoadjuvant setting we have electronic chemotherapy. I have some patients and they are on metronomic chemotherapy for I think last 6 months to 1 year, and because the patient is not able to afford the cost of the surgery. So just I wanted to ask, what is your experience with this very advanced head and neck cancer along with the neoadjuvant chemotherapy and after that the surgery or other local treatment?
Sir, in locally advanced cases, we also do prefer neoadjuvant modality before we take up the patient for surgery to offer better local regional post-operative control. But if there are other poor prognostic factors, we would ask and we would discuss the case and if it is decided the patient should undergo neoadjuvant therapy, we suggest and we follow the guidelines as per NCCN and we complete the regime. Then we operate upon the patient to look upon the features after this surgery of in histopathology. Accordingly, we also offer them proper adjuvant treatment including immunotherapy also, but not in pre-operative setting with immunotherapy.
Some of the disease like head and neck cancer or hepatobiliary cancer, these malignancies are not the issue of Western countries or like the USA. Recent guidelines they have developed. Mainly the head and neck cancer or hepatobiliary like gallbladder cancer, these are the problem of Asian country and India also. And we have more experience in managing such tumors. And I think in most of the patients we need to do NGS panel in multi-gene assay to know the biology of the tumor. I think biology of the tumor is most important for head and neck tumor, particularly the tongue cancer. Because we have some of the patients, those patients have very small tumor, even T2 lesions, underwent surgery followed by other type of treatment, and after a few months patient came with a relapse metastatic disease. So I think the biology of the tumor, I think we can start the study also. We do the molecular testing and all the gene panels, and then decide on the treatment or role of targeted treatment.
I do totally agree with you, sir, but as I know, NGS sequencing and other molecular testing are not offered for free in any of the institute, even in the government institute. So we must also take into account the NGS costing and other genetic sequencing costing. And what is the implication of that testing? We must also tell the patient. If that testing is positive and is responsive to targeted therapy, again the targeted immunotherapy is not being sponsored by any of the institute free of cost, except few of the companies. That is again a costly affair if we consider the economic status of the patient. So we must be very clear, and our first aim should, any surgeon who or any physician who is in the field of oncology, their first aim should be to help out the patient to complete their treatment, because then only any surgical modality or any medical or any radiation modality will be effective and fruitful to the patient. Fear of survival. But when it is detected in stage 1 and 2, we can offer 80 to 100% of the cure rate of 10 to 15 years, not only up to 5 years. What causes head and neck cancer? We all know tobacco chewing, gutka, sooty, khani chewing. Smoking and tobacco in any form in the body can cause cancers of the oral cavity. When this is combined with alcohol intake, incidence and the propensity of the cancer recurrence increases a lot. Sexually transmitted disease, especially human papilloma virus, is also contributed to this. We treat it whenever we come across any patient with an oral malignancy. We first examine that patient clinically. If the patient is clinically stage 1, that is T1 and 0 or T2 and 0, patient should be examined and he or she should be treated with surgery, upfront surgery. And this many a times is the only curable option in initial stages. However, depth of invasion and worst pattern of invasion is also accountable for further treatment options. Most of the patients in stage 1 is curable with the surgery alone. However, in late stage 2 and 3, radiation therapy is required as an adjuvant treatment to decrease the chances of local recurrence and to offer the increased survival. Only few cases of stage 4 where patient attends OPD in much locally advanced disease, where we cannot offer and we should not offer upfront surgery, where it can increase the local recurrence, and we have seen the cases where the upfront surgery is being offered in stage 3 or 4, locally advanced with oral cutaneous fistula. Patient develops recurrence in within 3 months of getting operated upon. So it is always better to downstage that tumor at least from the adjuvant chemotherapy, and where the surgery is not a feasible option, looking at the patient's general condition and disease extent, we must offer the patient concurrent chemoradiation. The cue to curing cancer. When I was doing my MS, once I was attending OPD and the patient with oral malignancy came, my professor asked me, Seema, what would you write in first advice in prescription form? You are writing all the investigations and calling back again after 1 week with all the reports. So I was sitting in PSU with my professor in OPD. So I told sir, I will call with blood investigation, I will re-examine the patient. He insisted that write first sentence as stop smoking, stop tobacco chewing. Don't abstain, don't write abstain, don't write reduce. Write in bold letters, stop smoking. If a patient asks you how long I need to stop before I undergo surgery,